Hello all, welcome back to our programming blog. Today we have an exciting topic lined up for you, which is latch and barriers in C++20. These are powerful synchronization mechanisms that can help us manage and coordinate threads in our C++ program beginning from C++20 onwards. So make sure you watch the complete video. So let's dive right in. So before starting, I would like to request everyone to subscribe to this channel so that you get notifications on the latest videos that I am posting, and do like the video if you find it useful. So to begin with, a latch in C++20 is a synchronization primitive that helps control the flow of execution between threads. You can think of it as a gate that remains closed until a certain condition is met. Once that condition is satisfied, the gate opens, allowing threads to proceed. So let's see how it works in code. Therefore, I will start with the latch part. You can create a latch using std latch and create a latch object like this. I will come back to this number later on. And if you go to the main program, I have two threads, thread T1 and thread T2, which is working on the same method called act, and which is receiving one argument, 1 and 2 respectively. And then in that function, in that thread function, I am printing the argument using a cout statement, and I am using a latch object l dot arrive and wait. So what this particular thing will do is it will the execution will be blocked, or execution of all the threads will be blocked until a condition is satisfied. So what is a condition? So condition is nothing but what we specified in the arguments while creating the latch object. Therefore, we specified two. That means that means two threads must finish execution and reach till line number 30, so that the process can continue the execution and latch can be released. So if two threads should actually complete its execution and arrive at this particular line, then only this particular latch will be released and the execution can continue further. This is about latch. The one main thing that you need to keep in mind is latch is only one time use. You can't actually reuse the latch object anywhere down the line in the same function. So that is the important thing to keep in mind. Now let's switch to barrier. If I have already created a barrier object, and the barrier object, you can use std barrier and create a barrier object, and it takes in the number of threads that it needs to execute till the barrier, so that the condition is satisfied. And there is an additional facility or additional feature provided in barrier called, when the barrier is opened or lifted, you have a callback mechanism in place. Therefore, whenever the barrier is lifted, you will get a callback which you can do necessary stuff when that particular barrier is lifted. So you can define the barrier object like this, and you can use the barrier object in the code like this. I have already written the code for it, and you can see the API is the same as the latch API, arrive and wait. But the difference is you can reuse the barrier object multiple places in the same API. That is the main advantage with the barrier. Therefore, this will also do the same thing. Therefore, it waits for the arrival of the number of threads that you have specified in the constructor, and until that time it will wait. in at this particular point at line number 29 it will wait. So when the two threads or the required number of threads arrive at this point, then the barrier will be lifted and the threads can continue its execution further. Therefore, the same behavior is repeated in this particular line also, 34, line number 34 also. Here also it will wait for the required number of threads, and once all the required number of threads arrive at this point, the barrier will be lifted and the threads can continue its execution. So that is there are two major difference between barrier and latch. One is that barrier can be reused within that API multiple times, and the second difference is that there is a callback API which is provided by the barrier. When the barrier is lifted, this callback API is invoked. So let's try to run the code with the barrier. So I am running the code, and you can see that, yeah, you can see that all the threads, thread 1 and 2, got executed, and then the barrier got lifted, and again thread 1 and 2 executed, and then again the barrier lifted, and then thread 1 and 2 proceed completed its execution. So that's how the execution follows. You don't worry about this particular thing because it is kind of a, because of the thread interleaving which is happening. The CO statement, it's kind of a jumbled up. Or to protect that, you can use the log guard before the cout statement so that the cout statement will print synchronously. So that's about the barrier, and let's try to see the output of the latch. It is similar to the barrier, but the difference is uh, you will not be able to distinguish exactly when that particular latch is lifted or latch is released. For here, let me just print out the statement that latch is released. Latch released. Now I will just print here or here one more statement called latch acquired, so that I will be able to know what happened exactly. So with this in place, I will just run the program once to see the output. So uh, so latch is getting released. This is getting printed twice only because this is printed each by thread 1 and thread 2. That is why it is getting printed twice. Therefore, you don't mind this particular thing. Therefore, one important thing to notice here is this latch is getting released whenever the two threads is finished its execution. Then only this latch is getting released. That's the same behavior. Behavior is similar to the barrier. That's what my point was. So that's what I wanted to cover in this particular video. If you found this video helpful, please do press the like button. And I have a blog which I am running. Therefore, you can see the blog link in the description box below. And if you find this particular video helpful, do like and subscribe to this particular channel and share with your friends. Thank you.